Hello travellers, I'm Sam Clark and I'm the co-founder of Experience Travel Group, and this is Experience Travel Talks, a series where we try and bring you a little closer to what makes travel amazing, what makes travel magic. Today we are going to Shahpura Bagh. Rajasthan's a huge state in northern India. You might have heard of Jaipur. Well, you drive kind of 5 or 6 hours from Jaipur into the middle of the countryside and you might find Shahpura. Shahpura itself is the summer residence of the Singh family, a royal family from the area. They still own the place. It's 19 generations now. It's big, it's 45 acres, beautiful gardens, these lovely low buildings with traditional furnishings, quite spectacular. And then as you go through into the gardens, you get to the central pool, which is probably the most sort of 21st century. It's an absolutely gorgeous pool. But the whole feeling, it's a sense of peace and sort of serenity, the birds singing a little bit, but it's just a wonderful place to arrive, particularly after the hustle and bustle of somewhere like Jaipur, which is of course a bit of an assault on the senses in the best possible way. And the Singh family, as I say, we're down to the 19th generation, have been in this area for a very, very long time. They've been incredibly important to the destination. Jai Singh was telling me that his ancestors built reservoirs which are still absolutely critical to the agriculture of this day. And in fact, we went to one of their forts, as you do, you go to someone's fort, and we had drinks and dinner there. And while there, he was telling me how the family still to this day has a responsibility to make sure that investment from the central state government comes into the area. Also in preserving local culture and crafts and so on, and we saw some of that. So what I was really interested in talking to them, 2 generations, Jay and his daughter Dolshini, is about what the family brings to the experience. I'm here with Shahpura Bagh with Jai Singh, the owner and founder. He's going to talk to us a little bit about Shahpura Bagh and about your experience setting it up.
Thank you, Sam. Much appreciated. Thanks, Tom.
So, Jay, tell us a little bit about starting Shahpura Bagh.
Well, we started Shahpura Bagh. I think we conceived it in 2005, and a lot of relatives had come and said, why don't you, this place ran on a dairy. We had lost all our lands in the 70s, Land Reorganization Act by Indira Gandhi. And, but we were kind of sorry that why would people want to come here? And I remember as a kid cycling around at 12, 14, and the life my grandfather gave, the last designers of Shahpura. And so I really wanted people to come and experience this oasis in a desert. But I was working with, in Delhi. My brother was in Bombay as a photographer. And people always kind of rubbished it, saying, why would a place like this, why would people come to your place? And you're not on the route. And so it took us a long time to kind of decide, and I wanted to come back and do something different. And my father was instrumental in terms of raising money, and we really thought that we could take people back in time and show them an oasis in the desert, because we had these 250 lakes. So that was the basic concept. Yeah.
That made me think that I wanted to talk to Jay about what his intention was. What was the family intention for guests to experience when they were at Shahpura?
Well, what they call now slow tourism is that we wanted to take them back into a very relaxed, Halicon days kind of concept, that they came and uncovered the state of Shahpura in a very slow 2-day, 3-day itinerary, where they came as guests and left as friends after being with our huge, and you've actually, my uncle who's passed on in 2020, and my aunt who passed on in 21, and my mother who's currently, living with us, they were the real hosts. They had such old world charm, and it was a perfect mix because the age segment of our clients coming from all over the world, and there's mixed. And we were able to kind of recreate what Shahpura was in the 1950s and 60s. We were able to kind of bring life back because I remember in the 70s there would be 45, 50 staff. And back then in the 80s and 90s when we had gone abroad and our corporate lives, there were 3 staff, and now we are back to 45, 50 staff, and the place is buzzing and there's good energy and we meet lovely guests.
And so what does that family tradition bring to the place?
The family tradition brings
the guest experience.
Well, I think if you look at it clinically, different interests, historians in our families, homeopathic medicine, agriculture, dairy, so very kind of spread out interaction with different interests. And if you look at it in a very simple way, they're able to get to the underbelly of what Rajasthan is, or they're able to understand it from our eyes. It's different when a guide is, coming up with a normal litany and something which is spontaneous like this. It's more authentic, and I think people I think they feel when they leave, they feel that they've kind of integrated with the family and the people of Shahpura. So I think it gives them a really nice feeling of going away with a little bit of slice of history and a little bit of an oasis in the middle of a really crazy 15-day, 17-day kind of hectic trip. So it's a place where you can kind of relax. It's a place where you can understand and interact a lot with the family. Luckily, there's Sat and Maya and me and Mandvi, and my mother doesn't meet guests now, but in the old days it was 7 of us, interacting with. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I could see that the sense of family and tradition was incredibly important to Jay, and I wanted to ask him what that family tradition brought to the guest experience. What did it mean for the guests that 18 generations had lived at Shahpura Bagh?
Of course, a next generation coming along and
yeah, well said. I think Darshini, you'll meet Darshini and Trisha, and so we are it's been ingrained in us that we're custodians. So this place will never change. It'll be there for eons, or that's what we hope, and that's what my mother hopes, and that's what my grandfather hoped, that this place will continue forever and be a kind of a channel for giving local employment, making the handicrafts come back, be able to kind of, in a very limited way, unfortunately, because only 10 rooms, or even now 9, kind of give to the economy. Even if you're spending a very small amount of £200,000 a year, it is making a difference in a very, very kind of, subsistence-based kind of economy.
And what did you most want to show guests about the area, about Shahpura itself?
I mean, I think it's a mix. I mean, we really don't have a kind of, we don't have wildlife, or we don't have, but it's a kind of holistic mix of kind of architecture, culture, way of living, and kind picnics, nature, and to bring them down into a very, slow a kind of introspective space where they're away from constant stimulation and they're able to enjoy nature, they're able to interact with people. And because we do so much social work, I must say that the people of Shahpura really interact with them in a very different way. I would say that that's our USP. I don't know whether you roamed around yesterday. I don't know the experience you had. But I can say that from 2005 to now, which is a long time, there's hardly any commercialization. We've been very, very delicate with our footprint. We have not wanted people to, we want people to, but if contributions are made, it's made into the school. And it's kind of formalized. It's not.
I spoke to Jay's daughter, Dalshini. She's the 19th generation and she's actually working with Shahpura Bagh in the sales and marketing. I mean, I wanted to know what it felt like to be a custodian of such a sort of grand and long family tradition, and what, if anything, she thought that she could maybe bring. Did she bring a different sensibility? Did she bring any different ideas, as well as what was important to continue and to maintain?
First of all, just if you can just introduce yourself.
Okay, hi, I'm Darshini. I am Jay and Manvi's daughter, the owners of Shahpura Bagh.
As a custodian of the family traditions in the area,
Right.
how important is that for you?
I feel like being brought up in Shahpura and seeing our parents, it's always innately been in us to take care of the people and give back to the people. And we've seen our grandparents do it, we've seen our parents do it. And it just comes to us a bit more naturally. And this I learned when I actually went to college and we had more conversations about it with my other friends who it may not come to as naturally. That was a learning experience for me as well. So, and then you get to see how grateful people are and how you can help them. And I feel like personally for me, that's always been a rewarding experience.
And in terms of what you're already doing, how do you think the guests staying here actually contributes to giving back to the community?
I feel like when it's more like a social community outreach program. So like all the staff that we have are there are from the local community. So we're giving back in that way. And then all the guests who are coming, a lot of them go to the schools and see the education and are sponsoring children's education. So that really helps a lot. It may not be a big step for the guests because it's barely anything for them, but for a child it's changing their whole life because you're sponsoring someone's education. I think education is a very important factor in a person. So I feel like they're just these small things that guests come and contribute to that helps in the bigger picture.
So do you think that as a member of the latest generation, is there any sort of fresh perspective that you can bring to Shahpura Bagh?
I feel like Shahpura Bagh right now is doing great. One more thing, and I know that we are focusing a lot on the social community aspect and giving back to the people and all. I would personally like to concentrate a little more. We are being very sustainable with our practices as well, but personally I would like to concentrate a little bit more on that because I have always been a bit more environmentally conscious, and that is where, and during COVID I had seen a lot of these documentaries and all, so it really touched me in places. That is where I personally would like to change a few more things to add to what we are already doing.
So talking to Jay and Dalshini was an absolute privilege. Staying was an even bigger privilege. It really was special to see how 18 generations of family had contributed, had come together really to show this extraordinary guest experience. If you enjoyed that, I'll see you next time. I've been Sam Clark and this is Experience Travel Talks.